Stay with you tonight? Whoa, what? Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon with Waltz's Root. So in the last episode, unfortunately the father died, and I knew that was coming because the way he was speaking to Lucette, but it's just a lot sadder now because the father was much more involved in this story rather than the other roots, because we only saw like a glimpse of the father and then Lucette says something to him, or saying like, I don't really forgive you, we'll talk about it later, but she completely forgave him in this root, and it's just really sad that he had to die this time. And the mother is back as well. But she hasn't revealed herself to the public, which I find really interesting. I think it's because she didn't get all of Lucette's power to essentially grow herself and make herself powerful, because she is weak like Parfait. So I wonder how this is going to turn out. I don't know where the mother is going to get her powers from, but we'll see. And it's been almost 3 weeks since Mother's revival, and yet I have not heard or seen anything of her. What are you planning to do, Mother? Parfait told me before that the Tenebrae had already chosen me as its next barrier. Does that have to do with anything why Mother is still hiding? It is possible not to feel the weight of the new responsibility. I have not yet fully accepted that I am the new bearer, but I cannot run from this responsibility for long. The Tenebrae bearer's duty is to work alongside Parfait to balance the light and darkness of the kingdom. That balance had only just begun mending before Mother's sudden revival. For nights I have been wondering if there was some way I could stop Mother without fighting her. I don't think so. Like, of course you don't want to fight your own mother, especially since Lucette has grew up with her. But, like, you have to realize there's no way to, like, reason with this lady because she's already, like, too far gone. A small part of me hopes that perhaps Mother can still change. I think about that, and then I remember how Mother so heartlessly killed Father as soon as she was arrived. She was sleeping for 4 years, but that did not change her mind. Even now, I can only assume that she is still meant to make this kingdom suffer. It feels as if my heart is twisting itself into a knot. I gasp as the bright sparkle fizzes into my hands. I clench and unclench my hands, taking a deep breath to calm myself. Ever since I started trying to work magic, it has been activating on its own. Whenever I feel any sort of deep emotion, some type of electricity spark in my hands, it is all I can do and try to keep my emotions in check. The last thing I want to do is accidentally burn down the Martian or hurt anyone inside it. Delora and Waltz have both agreed to start teaching me how to use my magic. For the last few days, the forest near the Martian has been served as a training grounds. Parfait constantly cloaks the Martian in powerful magic to keep the presence hidden from Mother and the other witches. It allows us to use magic without worrying being tracked. Still, Parfait's constant spell has considerably weakened her. Yeah, this is why I think she's gonna die again. Like, I think she's died in like almost every route so far, but I think she's gonna die definitely again because she keeps using her powers to protect everyone and is definitely going to kill her from this. Delora and Waltz tried to convince her not to cast the spell in the first place, but Parfait insisted that we remain as close to the Tenebrae as possible, rather than move somewhere safer. She told us that I need to be close to the Tenebrae as its bearer. As far as we know, the crystal is still unmoved in the palace. I know that the chance I will face Mother in battle of magic is extremely high, although I fear the outcome. I have no choice but to consider the possibility. Time is running out, and I do not have the luxury of waiting much longer. I must decide what I must do. They all believe that I am the one who can stand up to Mother, even with so little practice. Last night I told Parfait that I would make my decision the next day, and that I would tell everyone what I had decided. Now is the time for that decision. When I stepped into the reception room, everyone is already there waiting for me. I catch Waltz's eyes first. He cocks his head ever so slightly, his lips stretching into a warm smile. I nod back at him and smile. I take a deep breath before facing everyone. This is the first time I've spoken properly with everyone since my father's death. Before I tell you all of my decision, I want to apologize for everything that I have done and for everything that has happened. Mother is back because I was a coward, and Father died because I was weak. Lucette? Ophelia is the first to respond. It wasn't your fault, dear. I stare down at the ground with my hands clenched. I try to will my anger away, but only manage a few deep stilling breaths before I look up again. I brought Mother back because I feared that disobedience would have them kill Father. Yet, in my end, he was still... The image of Father's smiling face flashes through my mind. Clear my throat. I promised him that I would protect Angielle, and that is what I intend to do. I will do everything I can to protect our kingdom. Spoken like a true queen! The words are shocking, even more so when they come out of Delora's mouth. Queen? Why do you seem so surprised, Princess? You are the next in line for the throne. I haven't thought about being the next ruler. I'm not even sure I have the right qualities. Can I really do this? I wanted to see you become queen. Protect our kingdom. Cannot let father down. I have to do this for his sake, but the kingdom comes before the crown. I will only take the crown if I can win it back. I will have to rely on you. I will need your help. I think I need your help is more appropriate than I'm gonna rely on all of you. I am still weak, but that will not stop me from training every day until we face Mother. I hope I am not asking for too much, but I hope you will all fight with me to protect our kingdom together. You didn't even need to ask us that, Lucette. It goes without saying, we will help you in any way that we can. I second that. We're all here for you. I smile at everyone, granted. So this is what it feels like to be trusted and needed. It feels good. It will be hard, but we will stop Mother. Together, we must stand a chance against her. Hilda is strong, but not invulnerable. Parfait looks at me, eyebrows furrowed. You know what we must do to stop Hilda, Princess? I feel a tinge of pain in my chest, but force my eyes to hold Parfait's gaze. I look at Parfait's eyes with determination. I do. We have to kill her, that's the only way. Later that same day, I resume my training with Waltz and Parfait, while Parfait and Delora try to come up with a plan. Durin and Garland return to the town to listen for any information regarding Mother and Alcaster or any happenings in the palace. I force myself to focus on learning how to use my magic as fast as I can. Today, Waltz is continuing his lesson on barriers. He has been teaching me the same spell for the past week, emphasizing my protection. Let's review. The types of barriers. I've been trying to teach you. Do you remember them? One shields you from harm while the other deflects a spell back at the caster. Powerful spells cannot be deflected. That's why you need to be able to tell which spells can be reflected and which cannot. Otherwise, you'll end up using the wrong barrier. A single mistake can cost your life. So how do I know what barrier I must use? Allow me to demonstrate. You've seen me cast my spells many times, so you should be able to tell the difference between them. But for now, let's think of another game. Just take a guess. Who knows? You might actually give me the right answer. I'll give you a nice little treat if you do. A treat? He always did like treating me in town. It's special this time. I wonder if it's like those other sweets he treated me before. Waltz snaps his fingers at and a glimmering but faint purple light appears around him. It faded at first, but slowly became brighter as he moved his hands. Usually the effects of Waltz's magics are immediate, but this spell is taking longer to cast. Is it a stronger magic? I remember Waltz telling me before it takes a lot of energy to cast a strong barrier. Does that apply to offensive spells as well? Question time. What kind of barrier should I use? Okay, yeah, I think Lucette has the right answer, or the right answer in mind, because he took long to cast, so that must mean it's a very powerful spell. So I think a shield. Waltz did say you can't use a deflector for powerful spells; they don't work on them. So shield, right? The slow casting time makes it seem like a powerful spell, and powerful spells cannot be deflected. Surely this is the right answer. Is that your final answer? My confidence is thwarted by the sudden indecision. Lucette, in the midst of battle, you won't have the luxury of time to think about your decision. I look at him and nod. It should be the right answer. That was correct. Now you prepare your shield. I have never shielded myself from a powerful spell. What if my barrier breaks? Trust in yourself, Lucette. I do as instructed and stretch out my hands to cast a barrier to shield myself. Here I go. My hands shake as Waltz's spell collides with my barrier. I plant my feet to hold myself upright. Such a strong spell! When the light dissipates, I look up hesitantly before smiling triumphantly when I see that my barrier is still in one piece. I did it! Well done, little star. Oh. I eye the barrier again. My heart sinks when I notice the new cracks in its surface. My barrier... Don't fret, Lucette. Even the strongest barriers will obtain cracks after being hit by a powerful spell. That is when you set up your next barrier. Your opponent will usually make a mistake of assuming you have the same shield up and attack with a weaker spell to try to break it. You can be ready for them with a new barrier. I nod. I'm impressed how fast a learner you are. I have a good teacher. I think you're just a good student. So, when will you teach me offensive spells? I don't think you need to learn those quite yet. The witches we're up against will probably stick to offensive, which means protecting yourself will be even more vital than trying to attack them. I told you that I would fight, and I meant it. If I need to hurt someone to save someone, I will do it. Like, I understand where Waltz is coming from. Yeah, we should protect Lucette, because, like, you know, she's not, like, a master of spells yet. But you should at least teach her one offensive spell, just in case. It shouldn't be all defensive. She should have one, at least, attack spell, so that she can defend herself even more. I look at him in the eyes, my gaze unwavering. I still need to learn. Even if it's just one offensive spell, Waltz. Exactly. What if I need to help you? I cannot do that by conjuring barriers. I will not lose anyone else this time, Waltz. I look up at Waltz and my heart aches at the sight of his frown. I do not want to lose you either. This is why I need to be strong as possible. I want to be able to protect you. Waltz makes his way over to me, just a few strides to pull me into his arms. I will do what I can to save you from a repeat of what happened last time, Lucette. But you won't lose me. Don't say that! Why do the characters keep saying that? That is how you know they're gonna die or something! Waltz pulls me back and looks at me, his expression warm and gentle. Here is your treat, as promised. Huh? Waltz bends down and places Waltz bends down to place his lips over mine in a soft kiss. It's a short-lived kiss, but it's still enough to make me breathless. You're all red, Lucette. That was your special treat? Disappointed? I quickly pressed my cheek to his cheek and to keep him from seeing my tinted cheeks. No. Let's call it a day. You need a rest. Teach me an offensive spell first. Lucette, we've been practicing since morning. It'll be dark soon. You already know what overusing your magic will take a toll on your body, especially when you're still getting accustomed to it. I shake my head at Waltz, determined. Using my magic before did not wear me out, but now I can handle much more. What kind of barrier would I be if I couldn't handle this much? Please, I'm begging you, Waltz. He eventually sighs and rubs the back of his neck. Okay, just one spell. Thank you. He steps away from me. What I will teach you is a lightning spell. It is not for the faint-hearted. It will inflict excruciating pain on your enemies and also potentially paralyze them. I nod as Waltz continues the explanation. Though I try my best to conjure the electricity, I have only managed sparks at the end of the day. I collapse onto the bed. I can feel the exhaustion lying over me like a blanket. I can barely move my arms after trying the lightning spell over and over again. I feel like we're gonna be like Chancellor Palpatine from like Star Wars, you know, when he does the when he does the lightning attacks. I need to learn that spell as soon as possible. I yawn, then close my eyes. Sleep comes easy that night. Lucette, that voice. Come back to me, my sweet princess. No. You have no choice in this, little one. You will come back to me, whether you like it or not. I will be waiting for you. What a crazy woman! What is wrong with her? I sit up in bed, my heart pounding loudly in my chest and my ears. A dream? I wipe unexpected beads of sweat from my forehead as I calm myself with steady breaths. No, I will never go back to you, mother. I end up waking up later than usual as a result from my practice yesterday. When I step inside the reception room, I see Jurin and Garland speaking with Parfait, Delore, and Waltz. There's a definite solemnity to the air. They all turn to look at me as I approach. Did something happen? Princess, the palace made an announcement today. They're issuing a high bounty on your head for murder and treason. What? It was very strange, with the fact that they haven't even bothered to look for you since that day. Something must have happened that forced them to suddenly act. Dolores soon gathers everyone to the room to discuss Jurin and Garland's discovery. The only one who is not there is Anise, who is in the town buying ingredients for the Martians' meals. But Lucette didn't kill anyone! Isn't there some way to convince them? Alcaster's in power now, and people favor him. Now that everyone remembers who I am, they are once again frightened of me. No one would listen to you. They haven't seen how much you've changed. If only they could understand your circumstances, then they might be more sympathetic. I look at Emmeline in surprise and find myself smiling at her. Thank you for your kind words. Aww, that's nice. I know they haven't had much interaction with Rod and Emmeline, but I like that Lucette is very forgiving with Emmeline right now. That's nice. I turn to everyone once again and frown. Once again, I am putting everyone in danger. I'm so sorry. If one of them gets hurt, I will never forgive myself. Waltz takes my hand and squeezes it. The simple gesture does wonders to calm my nerves. Don't be too hard on yourself, Lucette. We told you already. We want to help you. We're in this together. He's right. I am not sure if there's much Rod and Emmeline or I could do, but we will definitely support you until the end. Before I might have cringed at her words, but now Ophelia has nothing to gain from pretending. Mother is right. We are family, and we will not abandon you. Ophelia and Emmeline are both smiling at me warmly. Even Rod seems to have a ghost-like smile on his face. Thank you. I apologize for bringing this up, Karma, but is it possible to ask reinforcements from Brigantia? Brigantia? Brigantia is one of our neighboring kingdoms. We have never had close ties, mostly because Brigantia's king tends to stay away from our personal and political affairs. They have always refused to engage any sort of violent affairs. We all look at Karma, who stands there looking sullen. After a few moments, he lets out an exasperated sigh. You want me to ask the kingdom of Brigantia for help? I remember Karma mentioning before that he was part of a noble family, but I did not expect him to be from Brigantia. What is he doing here, and how could he possibly ask the king for help? The king does not participate in battles or skirmishes. It seems unlikely that he will provide support. Yeah, since we're not romancing him, it's like we can't exactly be like, hey, help our friend. If Lucette was his, like, fiancé or girlfriend or whatever, then yeah, of course the kingdom would help. But since there's no ties between them, I highly doubt his father's gonna be like, yeah, let's go help. He wouldn't provide assistance. Not even if his own son asked him? Son? You mean... Karma crosses his arms and sighs. Well, I suppose there's no use in hiding it anymore. Yes, I'm the son of King Clemente of Brigantia. Judging from the sudden quiet in the room, it seems that Parfait, Delore, and Waltz and the knights were the only ones who knew. You're the Lost Prince? The Lost Prince? Gennaro told me that King Clementia's oldest son has disappeared just a year ago. They were... circumstances. My family never knew I had the Fairytale Curse. I was forced to leave my kingdom so that I could come here to break my curse. He came to Angielle to break his curse. His eyes wandered slowly to me, but then he focuses on more than the conversation. To answer your question, though, no, I do not believe my father would send help. He hasn't heard from me since I left a year ago, and that would be most likely that think some kind of imposter unless I show up at the kingdom's doorsteps. Even then, he would have too many questions and we would never get the help we are seeking in time. It seems we can't rely on them for help then. We all turned to stare at Anise. The fine Lady Anise has suddenly appeared in the Martian. What magic is this? Oh my god, why is Rumple still like this? I actually just came back. I'm sorry for startling all of you, but I found this and had to bring it back. Her smile fades as she pulls out a flyer for us to see. An announcement? From the look of it, 4 days from now, Alcaster will make a speech about changes and things that are happening in Angielle. Changes? That doesn't sound very promising. It means bad news, but it might be worthwhile to take a look. This might give us some insight on what's happening at the palace. Hildur is still in hiding, but it seems very likely that she could be involved in this somehow. They could be plotting something special for that day. Garland and I can go to the event then. We'll make sure not to stand out. I'm coming too. Lucette? I need to know what is happening. I cannot hide forever, Waltz. I will go, and I do not need anyone's permission to do so. Well, I guess you're technically the next queen after all. Delora, don't encourage her. We both know how stubborn she is. She won't stay put even if we command her to. Delora looks at me and winks. Parfait lets out a heavy sigh. This is bad, because she's gonna be out in the open, and then the witches or her mother's gonna notice. Waltz and Karma will accompany her then. Waltz nods. Karma looks somewhat startled, but eventually nods as well. So, until that day comes, we all need to prepare for the worst case scenario. I have a feeling the worst case scenario is gonna happen now that Dolores said that. I have been practicing my magic non-stop since the day we heard about Alcaster's speech. I continue to work on my barriers while also continuing to attempting that one offensive spell Waltz tried to teach me. Okay, remember what I told you. Focus your energy on the tips of your fingers until you can feel the current flow through your veins. Okay. Good, now try to cast a spell at me again. I stretch out my hand and imagine the energy gathering in my fingertips. I see sparks and I begin to cast a spell. Good, keep going. At the end of my casting time, I can feel the lightning sneak up and down my arms. Now release it. I direct the spell at Waltz, which as much thank I can muster. But it barely touches his barrier before it fades away. I groan. You're getting there, Lucette. This magic is weak, but it still might be able to paralyze someone for some time, so long as you hit them when they don't have the barrier up. But the speech is tomorrow. I will not be able to master it by then. You don't need to. Let's not assume things will be so bad. Don't say that! going there to watch the speech. If that's all it is, you won't need your magic. The two of us continue diligently working. After a few more rounds, my arms are sore and my mind is foggy. Waltz calls it a day and the two of us retire to our rooms for the night. I have tossed and turned in my bed for what feels like an hour, but sleep will still not come. It has almost been a month since I last went to town, and it is impossible not to imagine the worst possible scenario for tomorrow. I will probably be awake until sunrise. I turn to glance at the doll that Waltz gave me not so long ago. She sits on my table, her glassy eyes staring back at me. I wonder if he's already asleep. Maybe he can help me calm my nerves? Waltz? There's only silence. Maybe he's already asleep. I'm about to leave when the door suddenly opens. Lucette? Hello, Waltz. Let me guess, you couldn't sleep? I nod. Come in then. I sit on his bed and look around, my eyes shifting to his table, where I notice a pile of sewing material and assortment of puppets. You have been working on your puppets? Yeah, I couldn't sleep either. It's been a while since I did a last show, but I want to make sure my puppets and material are ready to go once this is all over. Oh my god! He's so precious! I'm sure that children are looking forward to seeing your shows again. Also, when the children see Waltz, they're gonna be like, what the hell happened to him? Yeah. Silence ensues as Waltz sits down beside me with one of his puppets. He begins to slowly sew at one of the seams. The silence is deafening. He looks busy, but maybe I should say something? God, we're just gonna say something. I think it's really awkward if we're just sitting here in silence. I am worried about what may happen tomorrow. You think too much, Lucette. I do. I stare at the puppets on his table. When this is all over, will you finally let me be your assistant? Walt smiles and pats my head. Yes, when this is all over, I'll give you the spotlight. I'm sure the children will love your puppet shows. Talking about what happens afterwards makes me feel normal. It gives me some hope. Hope that eventually everything will go back to normal. I feel better now. Thank you, Waltz. Oh, I'm not sure I did anything. You have, just by being here with me. You know, I'd do anything for you, little star. Oh my god, he's so sweet! Little star. There's that nickname again. Does it bother you? No, I was just wondering where it came from. Oh, right, I never told you the story, did I? Back when I was still your mother's apprentice, my life was dull and empty. And then you showed up. Your circumstances were the same as mine, but your life never faded. You became my hope in the dark place, my light. That is why I considered you my little star. I can only stare as Walt smiles at me. Right now, all I want to do is stay by his side, to stay within the comforts of his warmth. I look up at him, and thoughts shift into my head, tinting my cheeks pink. What is it? Can I stay with you tonight? Whoa, what? What? Well, Waltz's face is tomato red. He looks shocked. I can't? It's not that I don't want you to, but I mean, whoa, Waltz, you wanna hold your horses there? You wanna what? He glances away and begins mumbling to himself. I suddenly feel dejected. Don't make that face, little star. Waltz sighs. Okay, you can stay. Really? Yeah. Oh my god! Oh my god! No, I know there's nothing gonna happen, but just like the way Waltz was talking, like, dude, calm down. We both lay side by side in the bed, shifting only slightly. Waltz is especially stiff. I wonder why. He's especially stiff. I wonder why too. I loop my arms around his waist and snuggle into the crook of his neck. Waltz tenses beneath me. I feel like I'm being punished. What? Nothing. Thank you for letting me stay. My room felt colder than normal tonight. I couldn't help thinking about tomorrow and then about father, and my words trail off when I try to focus on Waltz's warmth. Please do not leave me as well, Waltz. Lucette, look at me. I move back to look up at him. Waltz stares at me with an intensity that makes it difficult to look away. His features are illuminated by the soft moonlight, making them stand out on all the more. My heart skips a beat. I'm not going anywhere, Lucette. I will always be wherever you are. I promise to always protect you. I reach out to touch his cheek. Thank you. He smiles at me before putting an arm around my waist and pulling me close. I snuggle against his chest, taking in his warmth. I eventually fell asleep in his arms. That was sweet. It's kind of like how, you know, like karma and like, you know, but that was the ending, never mind. Okay, you know what, whatever. Today's the day. Everyone has been busy preparing for the speech. I was told to relax, and I have to use the opportunity to move into the forest and get some fresh air. If only everywhere else was peaceful as this. Lucette? I turn around to see Ophelia slowly walking towards me, a hesitant smile on her face. Ophelia. I'm sorry that I cannot be much of help during these distressing times. You have already helped me enough, Ophelia. You supported Father when I did not. You have to stay safe, you and the others. You truly changed. Ophelia takes my hand into hers and it looks at me solemnly. Promise me you'll come back to us. I'll be praying that nothing happens today, but if it does, I beseech you to put your safety first. Ophelia, I may not be your real mother, but you have always been my daughter. Oh my god! Ah, Ophelia's so nice too! What the heck? Guilt floods through me. I have been cruel to her ever since she first came into our lives, and yet she still treats me so warmly. I do not deserve your kindness after all I've done to you, Emmeline and Rod. I'm so sorry. Ophelia pulls me into a hug and smooths down my hair. That's all in the past now, dear. What matters now is the present. I nod and close my eyes. I missed out on so many things when I closed up my heart to everyone. I've always thought that I was alone, but I was wrong. Thank you, Ophelia. That was nice. I like that. Sir Alcaster's speech starts in an hour and everyone is making last-minute preparations before we go into town. Ophelia, Emmeline, and Anise will stay behind as Rod and Rumpel volunteer to watch over them. Delore and Parfait left yesterday to attend meetings with the fairies. Apparently they found someone who holds important information about Mother and her plans. Emmeline approaches me, her eyebrows creased. Lucette, should you see your mother there, what will you do? I haven't really thought about it yet. We're bound to face her sometime soon. I know she is your mother, Princess, but are you emotionally ready to face her? I am taken aback by her question. Well, Jurin, that was a little bit much, but okay. Jurin. I apologize for being blunt, but we all have to consider the worst possible scenario, don't we? I need to know that the princess is ready to face her. Into the battlefield. One must not hesitate. Jurin continues to look at me, waiting for my answer. I finally face her with determination. I will face her and I will stop her. Chapter 9, the Queen. Oh god! Anyway guys, we're gonna end the episode right here. I just know something terrible is gonna happen because all the characters are like, don't worry, it'll be fine. It's really not. But I'm glad we had a nice moment with Waltz, and once again we kind of learned why he named her Little Star. But it's so sweet. That's such a nice nickname. I love it. The other thing is, I do like how Ophelia and her family are so welcoming to Lucette this time around. Like, I know the only person who really didn't like welcome her throughout the other routes was Rod because he was really mad. But like, I like that there's so much forgiveness with them, between Lucette and them. It's really nice to see the character development of Lucette. So I really like that. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this episode of Cinderella Phenomenon, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to join the companions. And if you'd like to help support the channel on Patreon, there's a link in the description. You get early access to videos for Patreon only, the Discord server to contact me, and a bunch of other stuff as well. Or you can support the channel for free with gawkbox.com/AGirlAndAGame. All you have to do is make an account, open it up on mobile or a tablet, and choose the apps you would like to tip me with. All you have to do is download them and play the games, and you will tip me real money, which will help me continue this series and continue working on this channel as well, since, you know, a lot of terrible things are happening on this website. But yeah, I'd really appreciate if you guys use it so you help support the channel, and I can continue making videos. Anyway, please let me know in the comments what you guys thought about this part so far, and how Lucette's character development is changing her throughout this route. I actually really like it. Also, Waltz is still cute. Okay. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Gold one even. Oh my god! Whoa! Jesus Christ! Holy crap! Those eyes, don't tell me. Oh my god, it's coming out now! God damn it! Oh my god. He takes down the front of his pants, frozen.